It's a miracle, ordained by heaven.
This boy is our king.
Well, by Jove.
What's the lad's name?
What? Oh, I mean Arthur.
Hail, King Arthur!
Hail, King Arthur!
Hey, this is the JRPG King. Gonna be talking about Dino Crisis, because apparently Dino Crisis came to PlayStation, but there's a very ugly catch, unfortunately. Dino Crisis on PS5, PS4 has no trophy support and is locked behind PlayStation Plus Premium. Really, Capcom? Really? So I need to subscribe just to play an old game. By the way, this isn't the cheapest tier. PlayStation Plus Premium, that's the highest tier just to play one old fucking game. This is bad. This is not how you preserve games. This to me is really scummy that Capcom is doing this. I don't agree with it at all. So let's read the article, shall we? Capcom's Dino Crisis is finally available for PS5 and PS4 as part of the latest PlayStation Plus Premium content drop. But it's quickly emerged that the re-release is pretty bare bones with no trophy support available. Not only that, but users have quickly discovered that unlike many of the PS1 games available on Sony's premium service, you can't purchase it separately. You have to subscribe to PlayStation Plus Premium to access Dino Crisis. Understandably, fans aren't exactly happy with this, as Dino Crisis has been long requested to be added to PlayStation Plus. It should be noted that Capcom is no stranger to this sort of thing, as its PS Plus premium release of Resident Evil Director's Cut is also not available to purchase separately. However, if you own the PS3 version of Dino Crisis back when it was first re-released, you should be able to claim the game without having to subscribe to PlayStation Plus. That's still stupid though. Like, okay, if you don't buy the game back on PS3, you're forced to get PlayStation Plus? That's nonsense. You know that old port of Siren? You can play that without subscribing to PlayStation Plus. Why do I need to subscribe to the highest tier to play an old game that doesn't even have trophy support? That's worthless, in my opinion.
I could just feel it. Because if you have been a Dino Crisis fan for as long as I have, you know what we're feeling. We shouldn't even be shocked at this point. It should just be something that we just come to expect. Because I think, honestly, when it comes to Dino Crisis, it doesn't matter what it is. What can go wrong will go wrong. And not to mention, it is coming off from Capcom, who is definitely going to be a huge offender in this whole case, because none of this would eventually happen should be all that surprising. Now, you may be sitting there wondering, wait a minute, well, it came out today. What are you so unhappy about? Like, what's the problem? Well, here's the problem, all right? So, yeah, it came out today, but there's a huge asterisk. It's not like you can just simply go there, you see the game, and you just, download it or buy it and play it, etc., etc., etc. No. You can't just do that, because that would make too much sense. And one thing I've learned, if it makes too much sense, it's not probably going to happen more times than not in this lifetime. So here's what happened. This game eventually joined the whole PlayStation Plus catalog, or classic catalog. But not just anything, they joined the premium tier. That's right, people. The most expensive tier to get is the only way to download and play this game, as long as you are an active member. Because once you're not an active member, well, I guess you just can't play it, period. But yeah, basically you have to pay for the most expensive tier of the whole PlayStation Plus to be able to download just a simple old PS1 game. Yeah. You heard that. And if you still can't figure out how bad it is, well, hell, I'll let Regina tell her herself.
That's disgusting.
So, yeah. Basically, that is what has happened. But we shouldn't even be surprised at this point because, honestly, guys, we should have expected it. If it honestly went available on the store where you can just purchase the game separately, I'd be more stunned than anything. That would honestly make news. What is happening here shouldn't even be surprising at all. It is disappointing, but, disappointing, not surprised. And it shouldn't surprise no one because, once again, this is Capcom, and this is what Capcom does. This is what they do to their older titles. They are so anal. When it comes to Dino Crisis, before I get to the other titles, when it comes to Dino Crisis, I basically come up with this whole theory, and I think it's a very valid theory. I can't 100% prove it, but it just feels, it's more of a feeling. And then what do they say, go with your gut? I just feel like the whole thing with Dino Crisis, no matter what it is I just feel like they want to create a situation where there's no way they end up doing it. Like, they're trying to avoid doing Dino Crisis like the plague. There is something with Dino Crisis that is just triggering to them, where it's something, it's like it's personal to them. It's an affront to everything they stand for. If you were to told them and guarantee you could see in the future and say, Dino Crisis, if you bring this back, you're respectful to it, you bring back the old ones, you make brand new titles, or you remake it, you'll make boatloads of money, they would still pull the plug and say, no, we just can't do it because there's something personal about Dino Crisis which Capcom just does not want to do it. I hope one day I can be proven wrong and I'll be the happiest mug in the world to be proven wrong, but there's something about Dino Crisis. I don't know what it is. They just do not, they want to create, what I mean by create a situation is, you know what I've thought about Exoprime? I've made videos past talking about how I feel like that game's creation was just to create a situation where they would avoid Dino Crisis by basically making a game that involves dinosaurs and a character that has a striking resemblance to Regina and putting it in a situation where that game is automatically going to fail because they're never going to support it. No one's ever going to buy that style of game, so it's going to do terrible financially. It's not even going to be supported after a year of it being released. So when it fails, everyone's going to be like, well, you know what? We're happy we did this Dino Crisis. I guess that means people don't like dinosaur games, etc., etc. But if it sold well, then hey, we'll just make more content for that. Is it no surprise that all the cameos and DLC they had was everything else but what you expect to have in a dinosaur-related game? They had Street Fighter coming in, Xbox, but not Dino Crisis coming there as like a costume or something like that. No, that'd make too much sense. And in this situation, they just hid the game behind a whole Premium Plus thing. Ironic of all the games, this is the one that's basically hidden behind that whole premium thing. Oh, well, you know what? Scratch that. It's not the only one. That's why I said it's not surprising, because there is another game in the classic catalog that you cannot buy. That's in the classic catalog, and that you actually have to have this whole Premium Plus tier thing as well. And it's another game. Well, it's also made by Capcom. What is that game, you may ask? I don't know. Isn't it something like this? Yep, Resident Evil Director's Cut. And I'm sorry, guys, I couldn't resist. That intro will always be iconic to me. It's just legendary stuff. But nonetheless, that's right. Another Capcom title, the other one, that's been in this thing for even longer, and it's still, you still can't buy it separately. So that kind of maybe kills the momentum. People think, hey, maybe if we argue and complain about it enough, they'll change it. No, they're probably never going to change it, because I don't even know how long the Director's Cut version of Resident Evil has been on this whole Premium Tier Plus, but long enough that they could have gotten the message by now, but no, they didn't. And if they do change it, I'll be surprised, but my point still stands. the fact that it's the Capcom titles and it's the old classic ones of games we've asked to be brought back, to be respected, to maybe even be like, brought up to date, maybe remastered, brought on like a physical form or just some way you can at least download them and stuff like that. Ironically enough, Capcom is just so anal. We've been asking for forever for Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 to be brought on, current consoles. They did, GOG, but, I want them on my PS5 or PS4 users or any current gen console users like Switch or Xbox regardless.
I'm going to be honest. You know what you do? You emulate it. You don't have to get a PC and emulate it. There's certain devices you can buy, Raspberry Pi or Steam Deck. But emulate this thing. Or if you want to go a step further, sail the 7 seas. Yeah, I think you know what I'm talking about by sail the 7 seas, don't you? Yo ho, a pirate's life for me. Yeah. Because if they're not going to preserve games properly like this, then fuck them. Fuck this whole industry, man. If you're going to lock a classic behind a subscription, fuck you. You're not getting my money. I'm not going to subscribe to the highest tier to play an old-ass game. No. Forget that. In my opinion, you should boycott this, because this is completely scummy. Not a fan of this. Leave your thoughts below in the comment section. Would love to hear your opinions.